My mother-in-law is cheating on her husband. I never thought I'd find myself in such a complicated and emotional situation. It's one of those things you'd think only happens in movies, but it's my reality right now. And the worst part? I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of a secret that's weighing me down, and I don't know what to do. So here's the full story. Buckle up because this is going to be a long one. And trust me, it's not easy to get through. My mother-in-law, who's 45 years old, has been in an unhappy and unhealthy marriage for as long as I can remember. She's been married to her husband for years, but the spark has long since died. It's not just the usual ups and downs of marriage either. This is different. She's staying with him mostly because of her two sons from their marriage. One is 18 and the other is 16. She doesn't want to break up their family. She had two kids from her previous marriage who are now grown, 30 and 27. Her first marriage ended in divorce, and she doesn't want her younger boys to go through the same pain. But let me backtrack a little. Last year, she brought up the idea of divorce. It was clear she couldn't stand being in the marriage anymore, but her husband completely shut it down. He's comfortable with the life they have together, and let's be real, the financial security. He knows that splitting up would mean losing a lot of what they've built together, and he's not willing to let that go. Her kids, especially the younger ones, have made it very clear that they don't want her to leave their dad. She's afraid that if she goes through with the divorce, they'll resent her for it, and she'd be painted as the villain. It doesn't help that she has zero confidence in how the divorce would play out. Her husband has already made some snide remarks, saying he won't sign any papers and might try to go after her business. That's her livelihood, and the thought of losing it terrifies her. She also worries about the mortgage on their home. It's jointly owned, and she's convinced that if she leaves, he'll stop paying his share, leaving her to struggle with the payments. Then there's the issue of where she'd live. Getting a new place, paying for it, and maintaining the family home. It's all too much for her to handle. And as for her kids, she doesn't want them bouncing between houses, feeling confused about their living situation. All these worries have kept her from making any moves towards separation. Now this is where things get even messier. Feeling trapped in this marriage has led her to make some seriously bad choices. She started cheating on her husband. It's not just a one-time thing either. It's been happening for a while. She's told me about a few times, but I can't help but feel like she's only giving me part of the story. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens every time she's away from home. Her cheating usually happens on weekends or when she goes on trips with her girlfriends. The strange part? Her friends are in similar situations, dealing with their own unhappy marriages, and they're also cheating on their partners. It's like they've formed some kind of pact, a getaway from their real lives where they can pretend to be carefree again. From what she's shared, it feels like she's trying to relive her 20s. She's seeking the attention and validation she's not getting at home. The way she talks about it makes her sound more like an inexperienced teenager than a 45-year-old woman who's lived through a lot. As for me, I'm 25, and over the years, my mother-in-law and I have grown close. We've built a good relationship, so she feels comfortable confiding in me. She tells me about the men she's been with, the trips she takes, and the rush she feels from all of it. But the more she shares, the heavier this secret becomes for me. She's begged me not to tell my partner, her eldest son from her first marriage. And here's where things get really complicated. My partner's younger brother, who's 27, knows bits and pieces about her affairs, but we've never talked about it. I feel like it's not my place to bring it up with him. Besides, he's also keeping this secret from my partner, probably because he knows how close my partner is with their mom. If he knew the truth, it would hurt him deeply, and it would probably create a lot of tension between them. I get why she doesn't want her kids to know. She's trying to protect the image they have of her. No one wants to be seen as the bad guy, especially by their own children. But here's where it's killing me. I tell my partner everything. We've always had an open and honest relationship, so keeping this from him feels like I'm lying. The guilt is overwhelming, but at the same time, if I do tell him, it could destroy his relationship with his mom. I don't want to be the person responsible for that. It's a lose-lose situation, and I feel stuck. There's another layer to this mess. If my partner ever finds out that I knew about his mom's affairs and didn't tell him, he'll feel like I betrayed him. I'm scared it would ruin our relationship. But the thing is, I've been keeping this secret for so long now that it feels impossible to come clean. I've been trying to protect his mom, but in the process, I might be damaging my own relationship. It's a nightmare. To make things even worse, I feel like I'm enabling her behavior. Sometimes when she talks about going on another trip or seeing another guy, I find myself telling her to be careful and not get caught. It makes me feel horrible because I don't support cheating at all. But what else can I say? It's already happened. The cheating has been going on for a while, and it's not like I can undo it. She's an adult who knows what she's doing, but somehow I'm the one stuck helping her cover it up. I feel torn between doing what's right and keeping my relationship with my partner intact. Part of me feels like I should call her out, tell her what I really think, but I'm scared. I know she'll justify her actions somehow, and I'm not sure how that conversation would even go. Plus, she's put me in this impossible position. She doesn't have anyone else to talk to, so she's unloaded all this guilt onto me, and now I'm the one left to deal with it. The worst part is, she only brings this up when she's drunk or feeling guilty after a fling. When she's sober, it's like nothing happened. She goes back to complaining about how unhappy she is in her marriage, but she won't do anything to change it. It's this endless cycle of bad decisions, guilt, and then pretending like everything's fine. It's exhausting. To make matters even scarier, if her husband ever finds out, I don't know what would happen. Their relationship has been rocky for years, and there's a lot of tension between them. From what I've heard, he hasn't been faithful either, but that doesn't mean he'd handle the truth well. She knows she's playing with fire, but sometimes it feels like she doesn't care if she gets burned. It's like she's daring herself to get caught. I don't know how long she can keep this up without something exploding. I just keep thinking, what if the truth comes out? What if everything blows up and I'm right in the middle of it? I'm terrified for her and what might happen, but I'm also scared for myself. This secret is suffocating, and I don't know how much longer I can carry it. So that's where I'm at. I'm stuck in a situation where I feel like I'm betraying my partner by keeping this from him, but I'm also terrified of the damage it could cause if I tell him. I've been carrying this burden for a while now, and I don't see a clear way out. If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking with me. It feels good to finally get this off my chest, even if I still don't know what to do.